that scene. Powerful, dude. Kanbaru x Shinobu, dude. Everybody, it's done. Everybody pack your bags, board the ship, let's set sail, let's fucking go. Because my best girl and Kanbaru, who has always been in my top 5, but has risen to 4th place after the events of Shinobu Mail thus far. She's been GOAT, man. She's made these last 5 episodes, and that dialogue was powerful. I don't think, no lie, that we've had dialogue that powerful between 2 characters since Italian. Just straight up, it hasn't happened. Yes, there have been GOAT monologues in Owari so far, especially when it comes to Fiend Ougi and to that Sadachi greatness that transpired back in episode 5. But this, with you know, Kita Shirahebe Shrine in the background, the colors changing, so many GOAT Shinobu illustrations, you know, fucking kind of like, I sat there the whole time and I had to rewatch the whole dialogue. I basically rewatched the episode because I'm sitting there and the first time going through it, you know, Kanbaru's, you know, delineating how Shinobu needs to meet the SHODAI, which is going to be how I refer to the first apparitions later. The SHODAI it's much easier. She's like, you need to meet with the SHODAI, and every single retort that Shinobu gave, that came out of my best girl's mouth, was completely in line with my mentality. I was like, don't presume to know about this master-servant relationship. Don't presume to know about everything Shinobu's been through, Kanbaru. But then, every time Shinobu made a retort, Kanbaru just spoke straight sense and real. I was like done. I was done. I was like, Sasuga, Kanbaru, you're incredible. And last couple episodes, seeing Gaen react to Kanbaru as well, and seeing the potential in her niece, I'm just like, yo, Kanbaru's on some next level. Like the comedy surrounding her, the fan service and everything like that, and the GOAT back and forth between her and Araragi has always been on point. But seeing this right here, it even makes so much more sense as to her mentality during the events of Tsuruga Devil, during the events of Hana Monogatari. And I'm just like, yo, I want to get back into it more in depth, but that dialogue was absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10. Beautiful, dude. Basically pointing out what was in Shinobu's heart at her core, what she was running away from. She's basically avoiding the past and avoiding confronting any sort of feelings or any sort of relationship with the SHODAI and running away from it. And to see that and how it mirrors, you know, what Kanbaru went through since the beginning with Senja Gahara and her introduction, you know, during sort of Monkey and everything like that, I'm just like, yo, this incredible. Meanwhile, you have Araragi and Yotsugi in the background when he grabbed her hand, dude, and they interlock the fingers. He's like, why are we interlocking fingers? Why'd you have to grab it like that, like we're lovers? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were Gahara-san. I was done. I was like, yo, that was good. Plus, we got young SODE in this episode, man. Oh my god, my boy episode shows up, which is getting me, you know, hyped for KIZU all over again, especially with those references at the. As soon as I saw the cross, dude, I was like, oh my god. It's young SODE. It's young SODE. And when he reveals that the SHODAI was trying to poison Araragi with the holy water, I was like, oh my goodness, this slippery fiend, which is definitely something that I want to focus on throughout the rest of this review, is the SHODAI and his persona and everything like that, which goes Hiroshi, man. Hiroshi Kami. This is why he's one of my favorite voice actors of all time. The man is going in on a dialogue with himself, playing 2 characters and beasting the dynamics of the SHODAI's voice, man. You can tell that it's Hiroshi, but the way that, you know, the change in pitch and everything like that, I'm just like, yo, so much based work is going into Owari right now that it's crazy. So getting into and I have to mention this real quick before I even get into any of the deeper dialogue and everything like that, yo, when Gaen emerges from behind episode and you see both of them, you know, episodes looking at the BL, you know, light novel that Araragi bought for Kanbaru and everything like that, which incidentally has him and Kaiki, my best boy Kaiki, on the cover in some sort of intertwined romantic. I'm like, yo, so I was reading this, Gaen, I forgot until Gaen was reading magazine. I just paused it for a second. I'm like, wait, because I remember last episode, Araragi intentionally bought magazines of mature women with Gaen on the cover and everything like that in order to subvert everybody's perception of him as him being a lolicon. And that's what she was looking at, and I wish they would have had a brief comment on that from Gaen, man, as to his taste or something like that, because that would have been amazing. That would have been absolutely incredible. I'm sure that Nisio Sensei did in the light novel. Again, if anybody's read, the Owari light novels in depth, let me know, because I'm sure he has. I'm sure he has. There's no way he didn't. It's God Nisioisin. But anyway, let's get into the Shodai's character, man. The character design is amazing. I truly like the character design and his persona. It's so elusive. It's not as creep as Ougi. It's not as crazy and sinister and fiendish as Ougi, but it's up there. It truly is. And everything that he said, don't anybody be fooled by that bullshit thing. I don't think anybody was about him wanting to, apologize to Shinobu and everything like that. Ultimately, throughout the course of the dialogue, his true persona and his true intentions became clear to me. Ever since the line where he was like, I'm special. I'm the chosen one, and everything like that. And I was like, I used to idolize lines like that, but I could never say something so self-serving. It's just ridiculous. And he says, there's no sense in sparks flying between the two of us. We're basically like two men fighting, jealous, fighting over the same woman and everything like that. And ultimately, this conflict is meaningless. So you just need to give everything up to me. It'll be a burden off your shoulders. And ultimately, what he says overall, when Araragi is basically like, why don't you want to return to being him? He's like, I can't. And everything like that. And he's like, well, ultimately, I don't believe that you want to make amends with Shinobu and everything like that. And he's like, all I want, because he's like, I told her what you said. It seems as though she has no intention of meeting with you. And he's like, all I want is for what I lent her to be returned to me, meaning Watari and his position as her main minion and everything like that, in order for him to shine, his own words, to shine once more. The man has, I truly believe that in the inception, the Shodai was a good individual and everything like that, knowing his obsessive nature of trying to hunt apparitions. He was a specialist as well, which I think is one reason where I'm not sure if Shinobu recognized the footprint on Aragi's face, which I love, is base Nisio, man. That gets tied in as well. At first, I'm just thinking, this is some ridiculous, Ononoki shit, just standard shenanigans by Ononoki. Come to find out that that's a clear marker for, specialists to mark their prey and everything like that. I know Gaen recognized it. I wonder if Shinobu wasn't privy, and I'm thinking the reason that the Shodai recognizes it and not Shinobu is because he, in the past, before becoming her minion, was a specialist as well. But I digress. I know he was a good person. That backstory definitely made me feel for him a couple episodes back and whatnot. But I think in that cycle of just, having this hatred and love for Shinobu festering and building up and being the catalyst for his constant regeneration, or at least some sense of it, whatever side of the same coin that it was, the man's, mentality was utterly twisted and warped, and now he's completely self-serving, and I don't know how this is going to be resolved, man, but the duel coming up, man, now I see how things come together. We got the season finale coming up, of this core, and we already know that, the final novel of Owari is going to be adapted. It's just a matter of time. I'm sure we'll probably see it this time next year. But aside from that, dude, you see the duel coming up, and it's not as though we don't know that Araragi is going to win this duel, but I need to see how, dude. Straight up doing the live reaction next week. The dialogue between, Araragi and Young Soda at the end just got me hyped, dude. I was like, I need to live reaction this fight because we haven't had a full-on beast fight, outside of just dialogue in Owari so far. And every Monogatari series has at least one fight sequence that's just like, what is this right here? Well, not every single one, but at least in the main installation from Bake and Nisei second season. I'm not going to say, Suki definitely did. I'm not going to say that Hana did, but ultimately, the basketball game was good enough for that. But aside from that, man, I need to live reaction to the duel because I know that's just going to be crazy. Thinking back to, the collision of, and I wonder if they're going to tie it in straight up to showcasing the scene with, Araragi's, coming to, Tsubasa's aid at the end of Tsubasa Tiger and everything like that, coming to Hayakawa's aid with Watari in hand, all battle damage and shit. So, I'm hyped, man. I can't wait to get into this duel and everything like that. But seeing the Shodai's persona was amazing the first half. Seeing SODE come in, and the Kaiki and everything like that, but Kanbaru and Shinobu clearly stole the episode. There's just no question. There's absolutely no question. The depth to that dialogue, which we like I said, we haven't seen something on that caliber in terms of dialogue outside of, the monologues of Ougi and Sadachi this season. Since Takian, since probably the last dialogue that I found that fucking powerful was Kaiki and Nadeko. And so I'm just like, yo, this shit was incredible. You know, just the fact that it ties in so deeply with Kanbaru's character and everything that she's experienced. Basically, the gist of her dialogue to Shinobu and her breaking through to her so much so that Shinobu is sulking and retreats into the shrine, dude, where, Araragi says it. That was the first time, for the first time, I saw Ocean and Shinobu lose a one-on-one battle. And I'm just like, me too, dude. I'm just like, yo, she got utterly bested by Kanbaru's true feelings and by her mindset and everything like that, and breaking to the core of Shinobu's apprehensions and whatnot. Basically, she was afraid of betraying herself, which she was doing inadvertently by running away from the problem. She was afraid of betraying Araragi by potentially the fear of her being swayed by her feelings for the Shodai and everything like that. And even still, doing something as cruel as completely shutting down the Shodai face to face, if that's the route she chooses to do. And those words, that a lot of them were powerful, man, but those words completely broke through to me, being such a Shinobu fanboy, and her being my best girl and everything, where Kanbaru is just like, what you're doing right now is basically betraying yourself. You're not talking all this talk, if you can't even confront him face to face, you know, all this talk of lords and servants and everything like that is useless. It's not being aloof, nor is it being, you know, noble. You're simply being bashful. And I was like, yo, done. Then in the episode, the whole dynamic between Araragi and Kanbaru, which is what is goat about Kanbaru's character to begin with, where she's just like, can you feed me? I'm just gonna sit here and read my Kaiki and SODE, you know, BL light novels and whatnot. She's like, and then she's like, can you put the bra on for me? She's like, I'm like, oh my god, Kanbaru, the DIY dialogue, well, she knows damn well what she was saying. I don't care what anybody says, even if you want to perceive it as her slipping up, and it pertains wholeheartedly to what Araragi has to do now, because Shinobu refuses to face the man. But I definitely see Shinobu breaking through from that and appearing at the cram school next episode during the duel and everything like that. But I can't wait to see how it goes, man. I'm so fucking hyped to see the conclusion of Shinobu. Man, it's been an amazing arc. Everything that I've expected. The Gaen greatness, you know, Kanbaru shining, Shinobu greatness, man, meeting the Shodai and everything like that, getting sewed up in here. It's been an amazing arc, dude. And of course that Yotsugi greatness as well, which this episode was no exception. But that's pretty much it, man. I utterly love this episode. Like, I can find few faults with it. Maybe the one fault that I have in terms of Kanbaru's dialogue, and the one thing I've had is the kind of naive outlook that if people refuse to meet and so on and so forth, that's not how stories are forged and everything like that, which showcases the kind of, you know, I wouldn't say it's naive, but the perspective that she's coming from in this kind of romantic, you know, fantasization of life that she's developed over the course of knowing this character. But aside from that, dude, animation, the visuals at the shrine, everything was fucking beautiful. The dialogue was deep, powerful, moving, base Nisio tying things together and building up that hype for next week's fucking duel, man. I'm ready. So let me know your thoughts on this episode of Owarimonogatari. Let me know if you want to see the live reaction next week. If not, then I'll just do it this way, you know, the normal way and everything like that. But I definitely want to just do the live reaction. It'll probably be a bit of a longer video because I'll mix in the review and everything like that. But let me know your thoughts, and I'm out. Peace.